So a lot of times when I'm talking to clients, people are having a hard time with the convenience, the amount of time spent prepping stuff, thinking that it's going to take a lot of time to make things, especially something like vegetables, where you're like hard pressed to think of vegetables actually being delicious. But it's not difficult to make them really delicious. And yeah, I mean, it's more food. I'm a big believer in the whole eat until you're full thing. So having variety and having more just yummy stuff to pick from helps you feel even less restricted, because we really only look at the thing that's disrupting the hormone. We're not looking at, amount of food. We're not looking at, like, oh, it's too late for me to be eating, or, oh, I ate too much already, because then that is just, those are just silly rules. They don't apply to everybody, and your hormones are making you crave something, or you're making you hungry for some reason. So having delicious veggies available helps take that pressure off of you to feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna go eat chips, I'm gonna eat bread, blah, blah, blah. You really don't need it. The myth that carbs are like, you need carbs to be full, that is just something that like we tell ourselves to perpetuate the carb addiction. But mass inside of our stomach is mass inside of our stomach. So the amount of food we eat, it is what it is. It's all up here. It's about making your veggies delicious and exciting. That's the big thing. So I just took a shower right before this, so I apologize if I look like a backyardigan, but I'll try to keep my hair out of the food, at least for Nick's sake. Right now, what I have in the microwave, I just got a steamable bag of green beans. I also wrote down edamame. Let me show you guys the edamame rice that I have. You have to check your availability at your supermarket, of course, but I actually love getting riced edamame. It's full of protein. It's really yummy. It's filling. And I really love using edamame in a lot of stuff, even in the pods too. Like I have the steam in the pods kind, so you can just snack on them, because I don't know, it's like more fun, I feel like, getting the beans out of the pod than actually, I don't know, for me, I'm a hand to mouth kind of person. So rice edamame is great, but right now what I'm doing is steaming up some green beans, and I'm going to show you guys how I really easily make these delicious. And by popular demand, babe, did you ever figure out where you get this cauliflower rice from? He bought it yesterday and threw the box out. And I forgot to ask you till just now. So they're from Costco. They're Stop and Shop. They're from Stop and Shop. Nick is going to go try and dig it up from our receipt now, because I completely spaced and didn't realize that it's not labeled. They're individual. But I will give you the specific names of this. This stuff is just cauli rice that comes with like a cheese. Yeah, it's cauliflower rice with cheese and stuff. And I'll get you the official name. And then we have another bag of just the Steam Fresh. This is a lot easier to find. Just steamy riced broccoli. Oh wait, no, I don't want the riced broccoli. Do you have the cheesy broccoli, babe? This is the one you always make? We're doing great at the Amato house. So just these two things. What you want to do is I throw these in the microwave together. Is anyone else having connection issues? I feel like it might be because my house is old, and by the oven is where we have like reinforced beams and stuff. Is it better over here, Katie? It's actually perfect, because I got to get my green beans anyway. Is the connection, sound, picture, everything better over here? It's freezing like okay, it's better now. I am sorry about that. So the skillet, all you want to do is I throw both of them in the microwave at the same time. And if it tells you do 6 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever, just do a couple minutes under that, microwave it. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then try to bring the camera closer. I'm going to put them in a saute pan. So I'm just going to dump them in like a regular frying pan. I'm going to add butter, soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and garlic salt. Let me write that in the chat here. Now, it may sound like, oh, that's so much stuff. Oh, I got to get it out. You're going to see, I literally just dump it. Like, I just eyeball it. It is really hard to over season your food. Sure, you can over salt it, so be careful, but it is really hard to do that. You know, if only you guys knew the amount of salt that they use in restaurants, that when we get that food and we're like, oh my God, it's so good. It's because it's so flavorful. So when we go and we make our veggies, and we use like butter and a little of salt, you know, of course it's going to be boring, you know? So I'm going to add these things to a saute pan with the others. I'm going to cook them up for a few minutes, and then I'll come back over here to talk to you guys. I wish I could just like put the computer on the stove, but that would not be advisable. Okay. Turn on oven, stove. Anybody else struggle opening packages? I feel like I annihilate packages all the time. If I can't just cut it open, I'm ripping that thing to shreds. Dump it. The reason we microwave it under is because nobody likes mushy ass vegetables. Unless you like mushy ass vegetables, and then by all means, knock yourself out. All right, here is the sesame oil. Literally, I didn't even measure it. I just do a little swig, just a little whoop. The most ridiculous sized jug of soy sauce ever from Amazon, because we literally use that much. Huh, that looks good. Like a 2-second pour. I don't know. If you want more, add more later. And then garlic salt, the most multi-purpose seasoning ever. Like 3 good sprinkles. Some butter. I don't know. This looks like a good amount. We're just gonna throw it in there. Okay, so the idea is before we add some more cheese, hold on, let me show you this and I'll go talk over there. Just throw it on in, but the idea is to try and cook off as much fluid as possible. So we want to cook off a lot of that fluid, and then we're going to add a bunch of handfuls of just shredded cheddar. If you guys can see, nothing I do is precise. I go based on smell. Does it smell really good? You know, I'll taste it during sometimes, but it's basically off. The more you do this, the more you can you could know how much seasoning you like and stuff. And it's just intuition. I can throw this together in like 3 minutes, okay? Now it needs a lot of time to like cook, and you'll see why if you saw my stories when I talked about the crust. But the actual effort where I need to be standing over there and doing something is pretty minimal. We let that cook down a little bit. I'm probably gonna go stir it. Nick just sent me the cauliflower rice that he uses, so I will go put that in the page after we're done here. And get a different spoon. Don't use a metal spoon. It's just hot. Why do we even have metal mixing spoons? Seems like a hazard. But they come in like every single one of those kitchen utensil kits for some reason. Okay, so here's about how we want it liquid-wise before we add the cheese. For my vegans, you can use your favorite melty cheese alternative. And I am literally just kind of covering the top with cheese. All of my measuring nerds in here are like, oh my God, but how do you know how much is in that? It's literally vegetables and cheese. It's gonna be fine. See, no precise measurements, just cover it. All right, now the real key, we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let that cook for a bit. We'll go stir it in a few minutes. Oh my God, my kitchen's a disaster. And then I'm gonna show you when I go to mix it, it's gonna develop this really, really nice crust on the underside. That's like, I love it. It changes when you cook something and it gets a crust on it, not burned, but it's come browned and just has more of a crust. That is the sugars, let's say, in the food itself that are getting caramelized as you're cooking it. So it's cooking off the water and leaving behind the flavor. That's what a crust on the outside of something that you've cooked for a long time before burning, that's what that is. Much like if you were to make a caramel, if you leave it for too long, it burns. So you don't want to leave it for too long, but leaving it long enough that you can get a good brown, like a difference in texture, difference in, I can't wait for you guys to make it so you can tell me how amazing it is. But, so that's cooking off. Now my green beans. Let me see if I can just move over here to do this, because this is easy. They're already cooked. Okay, so these I also steamed like a few minutes less, or this says 6 minutes and I did 5 minutes. So literally 1 minute less. Forgive me, old colonial construction was not a variable I planned for. Okay, so I am just going to, again, take what looks like a roundabout good amount of butter. I don't know what qualifies a roundabout good enough amount of butter, but we just go with it. You can add more if you want later. I'm gonna dump my green beans in here. Take a lemon, get a different knife so you're not cheating food. Lemon. I squeeze it all in there, pits and everything. You know why? You get a lemon seed in your mouth, you're just gonna spit it out, right? I ain't got no time to strain. I'm not going to get any tools. I'm cutting this bad boy and squeezing it, and that is it. And then again, giant jug of soy sauce. You do not need a giant jug of soy sauce. I just like the fact that I can call it a giant jug of soy. There's a handle. Come on. A little obsessive at this point. And then I'm going to stick this back in the microwave with the lid, or you can just put like a paper plate on top or something. Nothing fancy. Leave it open a little so it doesn't like explode or melt the top if you're using a quart container like me. And I'm gonna stick it in for another like minute or so. That's it. Now, we can start to stir this. You can see that crust is forming on there. So when you stir it, scrape the sides, like get all those like that brown goodness like in there. It's so good. No sad ass cauliflower rice in my kitchen. I apologize for my production skills or lack thereof. But as you can see, I just mixed it and left it on there some more. And now you want to let it go till it gets more crust on it and then stir it again. But you put we have green beans in the microwave now, finishing up. That'll be done in a couple of minutes. It's basically on the stove already. well do you guys wash your vegetables? I'm so bad with it. I'm so, like, I need my veggies to be washed because I just skeeve it if not. But I'm like, I always think about, like, what is this little, like, rinsey rinse doing? Like, you know, what did I get any of the extra outside stuff I see off of it? I don't know, but I am impatient. So I'm just going to take these big tomatoes. Babe, would you mind grabbing me some basil? Please. No, the one we just threw out had like worms on it. It was disgusting. I had basil inside, like all ready for this, and I look at the bottom of it, and there was like a worm in the bottom because I had it in a cup of water. Like a worm escaped in the bottom. So I just threw the whole thing out. But I have more basil. Just gonna take 2 big tomatoes. Let's see if you can see how satisfying this is. Okay. Cut one side. And then lay it down on that side so it doesn't move. And then cut it. You want to try and cut it as thin as possible. So get you a good knife, a nice sharp knife. If you ever notice why tomatoes turn all like mushy and watery and gross and like they become really hard to work with because they're just messy, that's because the more you damage the flesh on the outside, the more water it releases. So if you have a really good knife, you should get nice clean slices. I'll just eat that later. Same thing with onions too, by the way. If you have like, if you ever notice when you're cutting onions, there's that like point, you can cut them, but then there's like that one tipping point where you get that one sting in your eye and then that's it. You start crying. Onions, the more you mess with the flesh of it, the more liquid is released, like tomatoes, but that's what smells. So that's what makes you cry, is the way it smells. Anyone who's done their calls with me by now knows I love me some trivia. So I know a lot about useless little things like that. Huh? Oh, that's cute. It's a good sous chef. I don't know what the hell's going on with this tomato, but we're gonna use it and see what happens. I'm gonna go stir my broccoli skillet again. So our favorite dinner lately has been this grilled chicken that we do. And it's just marinated. And we leave it in the fridge in a gallon bag marinating till we're ready to barbecue it. But I wanted to show you, see what I mean by crust? Look at that. I'm sorry if I'm making anyone nauseous. Give it a good mix. No way, no how is that boring cauli rice. It's really freaking good. So let that keep cooking. So now the next part's really easy. Just gonna take my tomato slices, throw them in a bowl. Fan them out a little. You guys get to see how I do basically all my salad dressings. I literally never measure anything, ever. And until recently, I did not know that that is a weird way to cook. Fun fact. But I've been cooking for myself since I was like 8 years old. So, what? To not throw any, like to not measure stuff? I don't know. I've just been on that survival cooking my whole life. So this is just some basil I have wrapped. I rolled up into like a little bunch, just sliced up. Throw that in there. Okay, here's how we do olive oil. First of all, Athena is the best olive oil ever. I love this. It is my favorite olive oil. It is available in a lot. I don't know, maybe I'm just guessing because it's so common over here, but try to find this in your grocery stores. It is such good quality oil for the price. And literally let it go. Just bless it. And then olive oil, you don't want too much. No one wants their throat to hurt. Sprinkle. I cannot get enough capers. I don't know why I had to put that at such a harsh angle. I cannot get enough capers. I literally have them in everything. It is an obsession. I could eat these alone. Like I can eat these plain. Capers are technically a berry. I mean, in case anyone didn't notice how proud I am of my Greek heritage, they're like all over Greece. They basically are like thorny weeds that cover the street, and they have a lot of great properties to them. They're great for iron as well. I just love them. They're really salty and briny and fantastic. If you hate olives, you'll for sure hate these. So just fair warning. But that's literally it. That's my salad. I'll put this at the table and mix it before we eat. The broccoli cheddar is basically done. The green beans, basically done. And now we're gonna throw the barbecue on. So see, green beans done. You just give that, I'll probably add more butter to it and give it a shake. Oh, look at that. I wish you could like smell this. You know what? I'm a jackass. Hold on. Okay. Is that a little bit better at least? Amazing. So all 3 veggie sides done. And what, a little over 20 minutes? Then this house never measures anything on. Awesome. I can't wait to read these comments. By the way, give me some feedback. Where's my chicken? Oh. Here's our big bag of marinating chicken. Probably have some sliced pickles. Oh no, are we out? Oh no. No, we're good. We have sliced pickles. No, there's lots of pickles. There's whole pickles. There's like gherkin pickles, but sliced is my favorite. I like take these up to bed with me sometimes if I'm snacky at night. I'm like the weirdest person. So I'll probably have some pickles. There's like, we love the big brie wedge you get from Costco. It's a pretty good deal. The cheapest, most delicious cheddar ever. I don't know how the hell to pronounce it, but it's from Kerrygold. And if you find the one you can't pronounce, it's this. And that's it. I made some, or Nick rather, made some bread yesterday. So we'll be devouring that. And that's our 20-ish minute dinner, because typically Nick would be just throwing the chicken on the grill while I'm doing this. And when I'm done, we'd sit and eat. So what do you guys think for 20-ish minutes to have grilled chicken? It's not boring. It's not your diet grilled chicken. It's like delicious grilled chicken. I'm very prideful of my chicken because I can't stand bland food. So, what? The chicken? You guys want to see what's in my marinade and how I do that? I apologize for the service, but I am not lugging these bottles over there. Oh, another thing is too, I love to just slice an avocado in half and then just salt the top of it, maybe put a little bit of olive oil and like take a bite of it with my food as I eat it. But, okay, so meat marinade. These are just the typical marinades. I like the typical seasonings that I keep. There's a good spot. I apologize for this being a disaster, guys. Actually, I'm not that sorry. It's not that bad. It just doesn't look like a set. Go figure. So I love putting minced onion, the dried minced onion. This is like my favorite part of the everything but the bagel seasoning anyway. So I love getting this for my marinades. Oh, sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, garlic salt, of course, it's just a given. Sometimes I get a little crazy and I like to put some ground ginger in there. And then it's the typical liquid ingredients I always use. There's the sesame oil. There's the red wine vinegar. There's the soy sauce. For my marinades, little tip, I use avocado oil, or I try not to use veggie oil or any other like canola oil or anything like that because it's so highly processed. But the reason is olive oil has a really high smoke point, meaning it's gonna burn. Yeah, this marinade I'm doing is the one on the Pudge page. So, but I use avocado oil, or yeah, that's what I try to use that. At the very least, don't use extra virgin. It's gonna burn on the grill and give your chicken like a more bitter taste on the burnt parts. So yeah, and then ketchup. Mix these together. Mix them together. Throw them on the throw them in a bag, in a freezer bag with the chicken. Shake them up, and that's essentially it. Sometimes we'll throw in some mayo or something if we want it to like stick to the chicken more. More so of like a sauce than a marinade, I guess. But we've left that chicken in there for maybe a half hour before, and it's still been amazing. It doesn't need to be sitting in there for hours or overnight or anything. So this is just our quick, easy way that we make dinner. I hope you guys like it. Let's see these comments. Go over here. Butter, oh, that's exactly how I cook. My Polish Gma taught me that. Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but I love it. I love just throwing stuff because it's like, it comes out good still. And it doesn't, I think that's why people don't like baking if they love cooking. And it's why people don't like cooking if they love baking. Because I feel like either you have a very precise way of cooking, or you're just like kind of just by intuition. And it takes a long time to get to the point where you can just cook by intuition or bake by intuition. That takes a long time. My favorite part, I wash them as soon as I get them home, and that's it. Yeah, I just give them a little rinsey rinse, and I've always wondered about that veggie cloth and absolutely love it. Anyone just let me know. So wait, so the cloth actually, wait, text me about that. Because I'm always skeeved out by vegetables and fruits and stuff. Not the ones like we grow. A little worm outside is I don't care. But I don't know where the hell these fruits are coming from. Avocado, pink salt, cumin, and cracked pepper. So good. So good. I want to make a recommendation to anyone who loves avocado toast. Make the avocado toast on a chaffle. It is so good. If you make, like, gets in those nooks, you put a little bit of olive oil on there. Oh my God. The skillet too. I feel like they posted some generic thing, but no, I didn't plan on putting it in the Pudge, but I'll give it to you guys. I'll put it up in Academy. Okay, so I know this is different than our usual group lesson. Usually I'm more, as you guys know, talking about the deeper stuff, but I figured it's good to have a functional lesson every now and again, and everybody's been asking me about sides. These are the typical sides. If I want variety, I will zhuzh up, like I'll do what I did with my green beans with the edamame rice. I'll try and change up, you know, maybe the cheese that I use, or add in some mushrooms or something. You can branch off of what we did here today, but if you're ever in a pinch, just having these things around or having them in your freezer, it's just, you know, you can always slop it together and it'll still be satisfying, which is the number one problem, the reason why people go for convenience foods. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post this. I probably won't get to the recipe by tonight, but I will in the morning at the latest. And if you guys need anything, have any questions, sure, feel free to shoot me a text. Okay? Enjoy your night. Bye.